Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fuel for Success, episode 222. I feel like we should have rally caps. Episode 222, and on a Friday, one of our favorite shows, Family and Relationship, just like every Friday. Glad to see everybody here this morning. And you know what? Our good friend Karen sent us these shirts because you know what? This is our show.
Our show. Thank you, Karen, if you're watching. Thank you so much. That was so nice. I actually opened mine this morning because you had sent it. Carol, thank you, Carol, had sent me a box yesterday. And actually it got here like 2 days ago. But I have this bad habit of not opening stuff right away. Even if someone sends me a gift, I got to go get counseling about this because I don't open it right away. Like, it's not uncommon for me to get a gift in the mail, and I don't even know why. I couldn't even give an answer why. And wait 2 to 3 days to open it. Is that weird?
That is a little weird. I'm not sure what that means. I'm usually opening it before I even get back to my, in the house. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking back in the door, it's coming open. I'm like, what is this? I get a package from Amazon, I know what's in there and I'm still opening it. So,
I gotta go.
I don't know.
I gotta someone needs to do a case study on this for me and find out why. I don't even know why. For some reason, I do that.
So if you want just a little brief insight into the life of Matt and Mike, we've literally had these shirts for about 5 weeks, and we wanted to be able to wear them on the same day, and it took us that long to coordinate getting one shirt to Matt and one to me and having the right day to wear them. 5 weeks to wear the same shirt. And we only did it for Karen. We don't otherwise call each other and say, what are you wearing this morning? Just so we're clear.
Never, ever. This is only for Karen because she's so kind and took the time to do this for us.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Karen. And yeah, we're sitting beside each other. Exactly. We gotta fix this. There you go. So anyways, tell me what else is going on, Mike. I'm excited about today's show, man. This is going to be a fun one. This is one of our favorite days of all time.
Well, today we're going to be talking about family and relationship, and everybody loves our family and relationship show because it applies to every show applies to everybody, but everybody has to deal with family and relationship issues every single day, and the relationships in our life and the people in our life have more of an effect on the quality of our life than a lot of other things. And so we get a bunch of good questions. We've got a bunch lined up for this morning about building relationships and becoming a people person. We've also, of course, we always want to open up the show to anyone who's watching live to ask questions. Click over in the chatty chat box and let us know. If you are watching later on the archive or listening on a podcast, by all means, ask questions by emailing mike@mattmaddox.com or shoot us a text 727-341-5599er.
Mike, did you say clicky click?
I said clicky click and I said chatty chat.
All right. I can tell you've been hanging out with your grandson a little bit. That's okay. Clicky click. Come on, buddy. Clicky click. Hey, you know what? Mike, I tell you what, from all of our viewers, there's a race between Monday and Friday's show of popularity. Family and relationships, health and weight loss. And we strategically put these shows where they are. Family and relationship on Friday. That way you get ready to spend the whole weekend with your family. So, work is over for most of you, and you're going to be with your family and friends all weekend. So we like to give you a little bit of motivation, a little bit of inspiration, and a little bit of practical teaching along the way as well. So tell us what we got going, Mike. We've had some questions come in. We keep a list of questions that people have sent. And then, of course, you that are watching live, you're welcome to ask any question that you want, and we'll get to it and answer it.
That's right. So here's the first question, and this is a great question, and it actually rolls over a little bit from yesterday from business and entrepreneurship as well, because this is a concept that applies to a lot of different things, including business. But let me ask you this. What advice do you have for building new relationships through networking? And these could be, any kind of relationships, a little open-ended, but networking is such a powerful concept.
Yeah, well, Mike, here's the deal. Whether we're in business, whether we're just going to a family reunion, whether we're going to a work party, Christmas party, whether we're going to a church event, a conference, any type of event. Here's what I have learned, Mike. I'm a guy that quote unquote works the room, right? Because I am a natural networker. I don't go to stand in the corner and hold my drink and just smile at everybody. I go to meet people. When I go to conferences, like, Mike, I don't sit at banquets to eat, ever. Like, if I'm at a banquet, I'm not going to sit and eat. I'm going table to table. You know what I'm saying? I'm standing by the punch bowl and hanging out and chit-chatting and connecting. But having said that, time out. I'm not the annoying guy that looks like the politician that's like shaking hands and smiling. Good to see you, and all that. Like, I believe in walking slowly through a room or an event. So my goal, I set goals whenever I go to I was at a networking event last night here in Tampa. And, I wanted to meet everybody in the room, but listen to this. Here's what I've learned. I said, I am going to connect with 5 people tonight. That was my goal. I wrote it down. I put the intention out there. Even as I was walking in, I said to myself, your mission tonight is to connect with 5 people. Now, there were 95 people at this event, and I could have met every one of them. And I shook a lot of people's hands. How are you? Good to meet you. But as far as that real deep connection, that interaction, that going beyond the how are you, the reason why I say that is because the compounding impact of you having smaller goals at networking events to connect with people and a real connection is going to have a far more reaching impact than if you were like the guy that passed out a business card to everybody and shook every hand. So if I'd have shook every hand last night, right?
Yeah.
There's a good chance that maybe only 2 or 3 would really remember me. I know I'm like, awesome looking and, charismatic and all that. But hey, there's actually a good chance that only a few would remember me. But I do know that at least 5, and actually I got to more than 5. I worked the room, my friend. But the work the room is not a shallow work the room. It's a very meaningful, like, when I work the room, it's not so they can get to know about me. It's actually so I can get to know about them. In fact, I only talked about me maybe 2% of the conversation. Kept all the conversation on them, their work, what they're doing. And Mike, that's the secret of networking, my friend.
It's good. And I think that motive counts. And when your motive, when you're quote unquote working the room, is to really, learn about people and understand who they are and develop that relationship, it becomes very clear to people when you're authentic and you're genuine. When you're like quote unquote working a room, here we go with the air quotes. If you're working the room to like get contacts and advance yourself and those sort of things, people see right through that. And so having the right motive, being authentic about it. And if you genuinely have a love for people, it's easy.
It really is, Mike. And honestly, people can feel that. And your energy of that genuineness actually attracts people in that environment more towards you. So, like, whether I go to a conference, right? Obviously, when you're walking down the halls of a conference, people stop you and, hey, good to see you. They may want to connect. But yet maybe you have to like be somewhere at that conference at a certain time, or maybe you're meeting somebody. But if you can, Mike, see, a connection doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be, sometimes a connection can happen in 45 seconds. Sometimes it can happen in 5. There's no rule of like how long. So the question, Al, my boy Al, the question asking King, who I love, he said, how do you choose who to connect with? Al, a lot of it depends. A lot of it depends on the flow. A lot of it depends on if I feel like I need to make a connection with that person. So I am very pointed. I am very focus driven in life. I'm very intentional. So if I'm at a meeting and there's somebody I want to meet, I'm going to meet them. Like the last night, the speaker, for all you ladies out there, was the guy who was the actor on the movie, the Hallmark movie, which I love Hallmark Channel. Don't tell my guy friends. But the movie The Christmas Card, right? The dark hair guy, the actor. Cool guy, you know? So I wanted to meet him last night. But I will tell you this. I could have, because of the connection that we had, I met him and I asked him 2 questions. Now I could have asked him probably 10 more questions because I had him. I was ready to go. But I was also conscientious that there were other people waiting to talk to him. And always remember that when you're in an environment like that. Don't be the hog of somebody that's, you know, let's say it's, you know, an athlete that's doing, you know, maybe an appearance or someone doing a book signing. You don't want to go into a long, because be conscientious and respectful that there's other people that want to talk to them. And they'll appreciate that. And it shows that you're a classy person when you do that. You're the person that just stands there and talks and talks and talks. Not the right time. So there's your answer to that, Al. Depends. Depends if I need to meet them. That's, you know, or who I need to meet. But mainly I'll just connect wherever the flow takes me.
Yeah. Is that actor's name John Newton? Is that who it is?
Yeah. Cool guy, man.
So,
real cool guy.
One of the things that I think, and just to add a little bit to that, what Al asked, I think that a lot of people sometimes, well, I used to do a lot of trade shows in the technology sector, and everybody had the, you know, the name tags around their thing with like your title and everything. And people would, like, in networking events, they would, you know, they'd shake your hand and look at your name tag at the same time and like evaluate, you know, your value to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and make a value judgment about whether they wanted to spend their time with you or not. And that always like struck me, you know, very negatively. And so it sort of impacted me in a standpoint of today. I will like never overlook one person because I want to connect with someone that seems more powerful, seems like they're a mover, you know, and that sort of thing, because I feel like that the energy from that will, you know, you reap what you sow. You can't overlook the small person to go to the big person all the time and always just focus on connecting with the movers. I think that that's a bad policy. And the reality is, my experience is that a lot of times, connecting with, and from a technology standpoint, but I think it applies to other areas of life too. You connect with the people who, you know, are maybe not the CEO, they're maybe not the decision maker, but they have a lot of influence because they're the person that's doing the work day to day, and you make a connection with them at that level. You can make a much deeper connection and gain more influence in the situation as well. So.
Absolutely. And the quality of the conversation is always determined by the quality of the question. Always remember that. The conversation dies when the quality of the questions end. You know, because that's just the way it is in networking and relationships. Good question though. Good question to whoever asked it.
So I have a kind of a follow-up question on that. I think it works well with it. And you know, I've been with you when you work the room, you're a people person. I mean, you just naturally, like, you love people. It's easy for you. It appears easy to you, and to someone watching. And we may have people that are watching like, man, I'm not a people person. I'm not that kind of person. It's difficult for me to do that. But I think that, you know, I used to be a horrible introvert. Well, I still am. I mean, naturally I'm an introvert, but I've
not a horrible one though.
Yeah. Well, an extreme. Let me put it that way. Not horrible, an extreme. And, but I've, you know, developed skills and I've learned how to cope with it, that sort of thing. But what's your best advice for someone that they don't necessarily consider themselves a people person, but they want to be?
My best advice for them is to read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and read the book by John Maxwell, Winning with People. Okay, those are the 2 best books. Now, my best advice for someone that wants to be a people person, Mike. Now, this is the question. Best advice. Best advice, there would be many advices, but I'm going to stick with one for once. My best advice for someone that wants to be a people person is to show extreme, genuine interest. I can't tell you how many times I've interacted with people that's never asked me one question about my son. Maybe a question like, obviously, Mike, if you're not asking questions that display extreme genuine interest,
Right.
you're failing as a people person. There it is. There's my best advice. Like, if you show extreme genuine interest, meaning if I talk to Mike, I'm gonna ask pretty quick how his kids are doing. Hey, how's Carol? Tell me how Fuel for Success is going, and mean it. Not a scripted question, but I mean it. And to me, Mike, you will absolutely win with people. You will have more friends than you'll ever have time to have coffee with. You'll have more friends. They literally will be standing room at your funeral if you've become the person that shows genuine interest. You know what I mean? So It's funny to me. Go ahead, Mike. What were you going to say?
Well, two things.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I prefer you because I'll remember what I was going to say. I think.
You think you will? So first of all, I like what Pacey said. Listen, like when you ask how the kids are, listen to the answer, right? Don't just ask it and then move on. I want to just real quick address what Tommy said. He said it's easy for him one-on-one, but not in a huge room full of strangers or even people you know. And I know exactly what you're talking about, and you can sort of become overwhelmed because there's a room full of 50 people you don't know, and you're like, what am I going to do? Where if you're, standing one-on-one and there's just two of you, it's easy for you to connect. I totally get that. Because of my nature, I'm the same way. I'm going to use a hunting analogy. And here's what happens. If you've got like an entire flock of ducks coming in, I've seen, people that are the first time they go like duck hunting or even like quail hunting or something, there's a huge flock of ducks. Let's say there's 50 coming in and it seems like the sky is full of birds and they empty their gun and nothing falls. And they're like, how could I possibly miss? And the reality is there's a lot more sky out there than bird. And the secret is to pick one bird, just one, and focus on it, right? And that's the one you shoot at. And it's easy to be overwhelmed in a room full of people. And what you need to do is you need to pick one person and focus on that person and then ignore everything else, okay? And that will help you overcome that sort of anxiety of all the people in the room and how am I going to connect with it? Don't worry about connecting with all of them. Find one, look them in the eye, and connect with that one person.
Mike, you're the analogy king. I want you to write a book on analogies, my friend. Good stuff. You're the analogy freak. The only thing I was going to say, Mike, which kind of segues into what you were saying, is, how many times have you ever, been in a conversation with someone, or, I will purposely, hold on a second. My little office phone is ringing here. I purposely delay when people ask me how I'm doing. I purposely delay because I really want to see if they'll look back and really mean it. 9 out of 10 people, when you say, hey, how you doing? And, oh, good, how are you? They keep walking, right? But the real people are like, good, how are you? And they stop and they wait for the answer. They really want to know, how are you? Right? So even it's funny when I go to conferences, the first thing that people would say to me is just by nature, we say, hey, good to see you, Mike. Good seeing you. Be careful. I would mix it up just to save the genuineness. I would not use good to see you, but Mike, I think that it's extremely important. And I like what Pacey said about eye contact and listening. Here's how you know you've had a breakthrough as a people person. When you really want to know the answer to the question that you've asked. Not that you've asked it because it's proper to ask. Mike, I know you had a headache. How's the headache? That's proper to ask, right? Which you don't, but I'm saying. But if I ask it and I'm only asking it because it's proper to ask and I don't really want to know, when I teach on soul winning, I tell people when I ask questions to people, I want to know. I really want to know. I'm dying inside. I want to know. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, Al asked how to show interest without looking nosy. Al, again, the quality of the question determines the quality of conversation. So,
right.
if Mike goes and speaks somewhere and I says, hey, how much did they pay you? You know, that might appear a little nosy. You know what I'm saying? But not if it was me and Mike. We can talk like that. Not that it even matters. But anyways, I'm just giving you an out there. You know, it's kind of like, you know, Al, you'll know the awkwardness of you'll feel the awkwardness of, ooh, I shouldn't have asked that, or ooh, that's a little nosy. And then just always think, how would I feel if someone asked me this question? You know what I'm saying? I think that's a big way to kind of judge whether you should ask.
Yeah, and make it a conversation, not an interrogation. We've done a lot of training for folks that are, you know, witnessing or evangelizing and teaching them to ask questions. And I've seen people that just like sit there and fire questions, and they're like, no, time out. That's not the right approach. We're not, you know, put the light in their eyes and like, where do you live? Where do you work? How many kids do you have? What's your wife's name? Like, whoa, time out, you know?
Well, someone came up to me. Where was I last week? I was somewhere. I was speaking in a church Sunday morning. This guy came up to me. I hope he's not watching. And he wasn't there the whole weekend, but he was there Sunday morning. Well, I hope he is watching, actually. Because this is actually needful for him to know. And he come up to me and he says, how are you? You know, real enthusiastic. Good job there. But literally, like, came right up to my face. I mean, like, close. Like, if I moved 1 inch, our noses would have been touching. So I just, like, stepped back a little bit, right? And he moved forward as I stepped back. And I was like, look, man, there's this thing called space, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then at that point, instead of, like, going for a longer quality conversation like I normally would, I was like, hey, you know what? I pulled the good to see you. Good to see you, bro. God bless. Got to run over here, right? And I even said to the pastor, I was like, yo, man, who's so-and-so? And he, he's like, told me who he was. And I said, man, that man's intense, isn't he? He goes, oh, yeah. Because he got up in your face, didn't he? I said, he sure did. Yeah, personal bubble, they call it there, Carol. So you're right, Mike. Not an interrogation, not like all up in your grill, not like, there's just got to be this, I don't want to use the word smooth because then smooth almost comes across not natural, but there does got to be a smoothness in our flow with people.
And relax. Right? I mean, relax. That's a big part of your body language, your voice inflection. When you're like uptight and tense and afraid and nervous, you can't hide that. So that plays into being authentic and genuine. You just relax a little bit. I mean, they're just people. People are people. It's not that huge of a deal. Hey, our amazing and awesome.
Even if you're out on a date, the same, and this is a family relationship show. Let me help the singles for 30 seconds. If you're on a date, same rule applies. Relax. I know it's easier said than done, but you being uptight and tense is only going to make it worse. You're killing the energy and the flow of the date. So don't be self-conscious. To me, in the world of connecting with people, the more self-conscious you are, like, oh, I wonder if they're looking at my shirt. Is there something on me? Do I have food in my teeth? I've even been on dates where girls have been like, I'm sorry to ask, but do I have food in my teeth? And I'm like, don't ask me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would gracefully tell you if you had food in your teeth. I would be the guy to say, look, here's the deal. I live by the golden rule. I really would want someone to do this to me. Got a little, I would never embarrass, but, or what's that?
You got a little something there. You got a little working.
Oh, you know what I probably would do, and I've done it? I would excuse myself and go to the bathroom. Because most people do a checky, Mike, when the other person isn't looking. So I'm like, I'll be right back. So I give them like 3 minutes in the restroom, hoping that maybe they pull out their phone real quick, look into the knife, But there's nothing worse, is there? But at the end of the day, that's real. But don't be on a date and say to your girl, unless it's like your girlfriend that you've been, I'm talking about first date etiquette here. Don't be like, food in my teeth. Probably not going to win you date number 2 unless you're just unbelievable.
Pacey says it's awkward when she has to tell a guy his fly is down. It's awkward enough for another guy. I can't imagine for a lady. Like, dude, you gotta check your mitt. That would be awkward.
I could not imagine that. So my boy Tommy's asking a good question here. He says, any advice on small talk, specifically how to segue? from how you are to something more substantial. From how are you? Yeah. Bill, do stairs, Tommy. You don't jump from the bottom stair to the top. Just take one step at a time. Take the how are you to a little bit more of a deeper question, and then keep climbing until it's there, till the connection is there. So, obviously, like, let's again, like, you don't want to go like deep personal, take it from small talk. Just use the stair analogy. Just take one more step, a little higher, and you'll get there.
It's good. Pacey asked a question down here. It's hard to connect when you're not in a good place yourself. Any suggestions on how to get out of the self-centered mindset and back into seeing people and making about them?
Hey, Mike, a lot of that has to do with your own self-worth, your own self-esteem, your own confidence. So that's why, what's funny? I thought of a book title today. I thought about writing a book called Don't Date, and then under it in parentheses say, until you're ready. In other words, and I'm not always going to the dating analogy, but, it is family relationship. But as far as Pacey, there needs to be we all need to be growing, right? We all need to be healing. We all need to be coming whole, aka discovery girl. So I've learned that the more comfortable you are in your own skin, the more you really don't care. And I don't mean this is like, when I say I don't care what people think of me, I'm not saying I'm just going to live like some wild, crazy renegade that's just heartless and careless. When you don't care, it means you're comfortable in your skin, you have self-respect and self-esteem, and you're confident within yourself. And that alone helps take the focus off yourself and put it on others. When you're okay with, here's what it is. When you're okay with not having to tell people about your success or what you've accomplished. Like, I don't go out and tell people I wrote a book. I didn't tell John last night I wrote a book about juicing, right? When you're comfortable to let people find you without, I'm talking about an initial interactions, Obviously, if we were having lunch and he says, hey, what's new in your life? Bam, I would tell him, hey, just wrote a book about juicing, right? But you got to be comfortable to not have to talk about yourself and this is what nervous people do. This is nervous energy. Nervous people talk about themselves. Nervous people do this as some kind of cover up maybe or self-defense mechanism or whatever. Yeah. So Pacey, I would say, work on more inner strength and inner healing and loving yourself and being cool with who you are. I think those things will help you be more relaxed.
So don't date until you're ready. That actually leads me to a question we have here, and see if you can cover this in 3 minutes. You won't, but we'll go over. I know.
Wait, yeah, we've been going over lately. But sorry. Time out. Wait a minute. We've been going over lately. I got one thing to say, my friends. Hear me? Our show. But anyways, go ahead.
Right. Hey, so the question is, why is it important for you to heal from a past relationship before you get into another one? And do you have, guidelines, rules of thumbs on how long, that might take?
Well, Mike, this is important in every aspect of relationship.
Well, we lost Mr. Maddox for a moment. I was really hanging on every word.
Is not healing or not becoming whole or not getting past a former relationship. Mike, if you were close, like really in love, experts say it could take up to 2 years to get past so the question was how long, okay? So my answer would be this, just to show you I can do it in under 3 minutes, right? I'm proving a point. My point Mike, you still there?
Yeah.
Did Mike cut out or did I?
Did you lose me?
Let me know if Mike's out or if I'm out. You did. Can you still hear me? Mike, I don't have you yet. Let me see if I can get Mikey back on.
What about now?
What about now? Hey, anyways, what I was saying, my friend, was
over here. Just kidding.
It does feel weird. Do a switch. Let's show them how quick we can switch. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. It's not bad. Not bad. Basically, those who are listening on iTunes, we just switched our video placement here. Anyways, Mike, there's no rule for how long. Like, let's say, your spouse dies. I know people like, nah, look, to me, okay, if you're going to say a rule, if you're asking me my advice, I like the year rule. If you were physically intimate with someone, you should not date someone else for a year. Whether that was marriage, dating, if you guys, whatever. So listen to me.
Whatever.
So to me, a year is a good rule of thumb. If you go through a breakup, a divorce, definitely, to me, the number one mistake that divorced people make is date too soon. It's the number one mistake in my opinion. So Mike, I'm going to go ahead and give a clear answer now. For death, divorce, or the end of a relationship, I give it a year. It's not easy because most people are codependent. Most people are needy for a relationship and they're not okay with being single. So that's my take, Mike. Any other thoughts on this, my friend?
Well, I think that, first of all, the importance of it is, obviously if you don't heal, it's just like a physical injury. If you don't allow the physical injury to heal, it's very easy to re-injure it and, to carry, brokenness into a new relationship isn't fair to the new person, right? So, I definitely see the importance of it. And I think, everybody's different. Everybody heals at different rates, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And so, but I think that's a good rule of thumb. I think it's a good place to start from because sometimes people just have like no idea, like am I talking a week? Am I talking 10 years? And I think that's a good rule of thumb that people can go to and really adjust from there based on their personality and their own situation. So.
Al made a statement here, which that's good, Mike. Al said he thinks it's easier to move on by finding someone else. Al, I understand the theory here, okay? And believe it or not, there is a little bit of truth to that, okay? But you got to be careful. Our goal in life is healthy emotions, healthy mind, healthy relationships, okay? So, I'll give you two analogies. One, your spouse leaves you for someone better looking than you. So, there's this. You're going to get in unbelievable shape. You're going to find someone so much hotter than your spouse. Listen, I get that, but you got to be careful doing things out of revenge. You got to be careful doing things. The proper way to healing is to love yourself and to give it time and to heal the right way, not through retaliation and revenge. Now, it may make you feel better in the moment to walk down the mall and your spouse sees you or your ex-girlfriend sees you and you got this guy that's ripped, or whatever, or you got this girl that's just gorgeous, beautiful. I mean, beautiful, right? Sure, that feels good. Sure. Let's not kid ourselves. Is it healthy? Well, I mean, not really if that's the motive, and especially if that action is done before the healing, it's definitely a bad move. But it does make it easier, Al. I'm going to give you a little bit of credit here because that actually is it's a fair point. It does make it easier. For example, let's say you have your heart broken by a girl or a guy, and you start dating someone else and it gets your attention off them and, you're making new memories and all that. In theory, that sounds good. In actuality and reality for the long-term health of that relationship, it's not good. I like everyone to go through all 4 seasons and every holiday past an ex before they get into a new one because let's get real. Holidays bring memories, sense, the fall sense, winter, the first day of snow, first time you build a fireplace and all of a sudden, boom, you flashback. Oh my God, I remember me and my girlfriend built a fireplace and had tea or whatever. So you got to get past, that's why I say a year is healthy. A year is healthy because you go through all 4 seasons and you get past all a year's worth of, and so for some people, a year is not enough. For some people, a year is not enough. Depends on how deep the healing needs to be. You know, I will listen. Not today. I will open up and share about this because you're looking at a guy that was married and has gone through 9 years of singlehood. I've got some experience here. I've got some things to do and not to do, and I've learned some lessons the hard way. And I'm going to share it, probably in a book, maybe in a DVD series or a CD series, but it's coming.
It's good. Hey, great job. It was like 6 minutes with some follow-up questions. So
you did. I did your question in 3 minutes. Then I segued over on the Al's question. So I don't appreciate getting rebuked on our show, Mike.
Awesome. Hey, well, it's been a great show.
You know what, Al? Yeah. Mike and I are going to announce our business. We're going to announce it right now. No, I'm just kidding. But maybe next week. And Alan, we're really not pulling a mind game on anybody. We're not trying to tease you and like, oh, make you wait like Apple does. No. Anyways, we're just attacking the details, baby. But, you know, and then honestly, whether it's friendships, you know what I've learned, Mike? Timing is everything. You know, your best friend dies. Like your best friend. It's like Kenny Rogers says, you can't make old friends. I mean, I love that song, man. You can't make old friends. Old friends are old friends for a reason. Like, let's say your lifelong best friend died. If Mike died today, like there can't be another Mike. I would be like a lost puppy dog. I would be like, I'm about to start crying right now. I mean, dude, you know, I need help putting up with Carol. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, anyway, but it is hard to replace, and this is what makes life, you know, but the danger is going out and trying, so in other words, no one's going to be your ex. No one's going to be your best friend. Those people are who they are. Don't try to make other people into something in your past.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good. And for the record, Al's going to hire Carol as his coach, so that should be interesting.
I would actually pay for that and pay to listen.
Yeah, record those sessions.
I would pay for the session, and I would actually pay both of you to say, guys, let me three-way in.
That would be interesting. Hey, I want to thank everybody for joining the show today. Huh?
Oh, I was going to give a relationship advice that Anthony Mangan gave me.
Well, by all means, it's our show. I was going to close it, but
we'll do it next Friday. Oh, UPS is here. Ta-ha. UPS is here. I think that's a shipment of my juicing books. You want me to find out? Or you just want to go? No, because I got to wait 3 days to open it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not going to open it today anyway, so.
I'll open it Monday. No biggie. I got till Monday, baby. Hey, we love you guys. Oh, for all you that have ordered books, we've ordered them. Like, they're out. They're somewhere. So please trust us. They're coming. People have been getting them yesterday, so probably today, Lance. Yeah. They're coming. I mean, I got a lot of texts and Facebookies and all that. People said, I got my book. So make sure you read it though, my friends, and give me some feedback. Mike, enjoy your day. We love you. We'll see you Monday. So instead of telling people we do a 30-minute talk show, we're going to start telling people we do a 38-minute talk show.
We do a 30-some minute talk show.
30-ish. We just need to say live internet talk show and not give it time. We love you guys. Enjoy your day. We'll see you on Monday. Have fun this weekend and go become a healthy person. God bless you.
See you on Monday.